Good evening and welcome to Match of the Day on the last day of the year for two First Division matches. First, Aston Villa against Queen's Park Rangers, both outsiders in the Championship race, but hot contenders for a European place. That's followed by Everton, still struggling to get out of Liverpool's shadow, against Coventry City, the surprise team of the season, with a burning ambition to sample the bright lights.
Tonight's news: Liverpool end 1983 as they began it on top of the First Division. But Manchester United chased them into 1984, still their main rivals. Chelsea start the new year as Second Division leaders, despite Kerry Dixon's third penalty miss in 4 days. And spare a thought for Fourth Division Hereford, without a win in 10 games and 1-0 up against Colchester when the lights went out on them.
Aston Villa and Queen's Park Rangers have shown similar form so far this season. Perhaps that's more satisfying for the newly promoted London club. But where a club's been counts for nothing. It's where it's going that matters, and neither Villa nor Rangers will be satisfied with anything less than a European place this season, giving today's fixture that extra edge. Your commentator, John Motson.
Gary Shaw returns after almost 4 months out of the league side with cartilage trouble and goes into 1984 with his contract here at Villa Park ending in June. Shaw replaces Paul Rideout, who drops to substitute after a run of 11 matches, and the other Villa change is at right back, where Des Bremner comes in for the injured Gary Williams. Rangers field the side which lost at Leicester on Boxing Day. Their two most recent signings, Mike Fillery and Jeremy Charles, are now establishing themselves, and there's a return to Villa Park for John Gregory, who spent 2 years with Aston Villa. Referee this afternoon is Alan Banks from Manchester. Aston Villa in their claret and blue, playing from left to right, and Queen's Park Rangers, side by side with Villa in the league table at the start of play, are in the hoops. Rangers, in fact, have played 1 game less and have also got a better goal difference than Aston Villa. Stewart. Shaw. Mortimer. On with. Quickly played to Shaw. Here's McMahon, and a foul again. Fenwick coming in on Shaw. Villa trying to take the quick free kick and earning another one. This is McMahon for Villa. Nice ball with. Good save by Hucker, away by Fenwick. Still in play, Ormsby back to Mortimer. Offside this time, but they weren't earlier. Peter Wyth was onside when he had the shot, and Hucker made a fine reflex save. And I rather think the linesman feels somebody spoke out of turn. Warren Neal was the offender, and the referee is called across by the linesman, and he books Neal for dissent. And the warning seemed pretty clear there to Warren Neal, 21-year-old fullback of Queen's Park Rangers. That was Mortimer. And then DC. Linesman's flag stayed down there. With again, beating the offside trap. Here's Walters. Possibilities here for Aston Villa. Good cross and well taken in the end by Hucker. Fine pace again by Mark Walters, and a good fast ball in too. Shaw was hovering in case Hucker fumbled it completely. That's a goal kick. Was Wicks, and Evans then for Villa. Fillery sorting things out for Rangers, finding Neal. Peter Wyth appeared to have a kick at Warren Neal there. And there have already been signs of bad temper in this match. Referee having a word with With, who certainly appeared to kick out. Wicks. Wide on the left is Dawes, but Shaw half intercepting. Stainrod's there. Chance! Saved by Spink, and a good one too. And a chance for Simon Stainrod, the top scorer. An inadvertent deflection by Gary Shaw, cutting out a pass meant for Dawes, caused that. Stainrod got in behind the defence, but a good reflex save by Nigel Spink. Wicks. And Ormsby forward, onside, Peter With. Good stop by Hucker. Play on again, Charles. Oh, nicely round Evans. And now Jeremy Charles is through. And a great save too by Spink. So similar to the one at the other end by Hucker. And maybe we're watching here a future England goalkeeper. But which end, I wonder? They're both very good at coming out in one-against-ones, but there's a growing regard in the game for the Rangers keeper, Peter Hucker. Here's Wicks. Stainrod tangling with Evans. Referee called that evens. Curbishley. That's well played, DC. So is that, Mortimer. Villa do move well when the play starts to flow, and Mortimer is onside. Brilliantly done this by Villa, and Mortimer couldn't quite get the ball in. Well, if Rangers play the offside game as often as they seem to want to do, teams are sometimes going to find them out with the midfield player making the run at the right time through the ranks. Mortimer's so good at that, it's possibly the strongest part of his game. And on that occasion, the floated effort went the wrong side of the post. Bremner. Shaw is the man running, so too is Curbishley on this side. With the header. Curbishley. Into McMahon, and now Mortimer. DC coming from left back. McMahon. And With offside. No goals, but some nice, tidy, alert goalkeeping, partly responsible for that. Nigel Spink getting better, it seems, with every game. And at the other end, Peter Hucker, underrated, but also very sound. 0-0 at half-time. Villa have only lost one home match in the league this season. It was to Arsenal by 6-2, remarkably. Rangers have had 4 away wins. They're playing from the left now, QPR in the second half. This is Peter With and Mark Waters. DC. Waters. Coming in on the far side was Curbishley. Drove him really wide, the cross. And again, Hucker in no difficulties. Has a very calm temperament to add to his other qualities, which we saw illustrated quite clearly at Wembley in those 2 cup finals, when he was voted the BBC Viewers' Man of the Match. Mortimer. Waters. And again he's there, is Hucker. Gary Shaw hoping to pounce on something. And Mark Waters certainly supplying the service. Tony Barton, the Villa manager, in the white raincoat in the centre there. Shaw. Fenwick got the ball away as far as DC. Mortimer again with this forward surge. Walters. Oh, he's on his way here. But again, he can't get the shot on the goal. Well, he's a talented young player. Only 19, Mark Walters, but I fancy a spot of shooting practice at the training ground might be in order next week. Came off Ormsby's head, that. Evans was covering behind him and was fouled by Charles. DC. Walters with Mortimer's pushed on. Oh, and that ball meant for McMahon was intercepted by Stewart, and Rangers on their way here. Streaming behind him are three players from midfield. Dawes has come all the way from left back. Found Stewart again. And Charles is coming in and scores for Rangers. Pass which went wrong for Aston Villa in the middle of the field, and Ian Stewart was away. Dawes joined the attack intelligently, got the ball back again to Stewart. The cross was well angled for the far post, and Jeremy Charles has always been a good target man on those. Put it away nicely by the post, and it's Queen's Park Rangers who take the lead. Slightly against the run of play perhaps, but Aston Villa have had opportunities and haven't taken them. And they now find themselves up against it at home for the second match running. Here's With. Into Walters. Villa drew 0-0 here with Spurs on Tuesday, but Tottenham had the better chances. And now it's Rangers who've been galvanised by the goal. Stewart to Fillery. Now can Villa strike back quickly? Well, I think if you trace the move a long way back, it was Peter With whose pass meant for McMahon went astray for Aston Villa, and it was the opposite number 9 who eventually capitalised. Charles is up again, Steinrod's there. Fancy Aston Villa will get the vote there of the referee against Simon Steinrod. Oh, Fenwick came out looking for an offside, and Wick stayed back, enabling Gary Shaw to get possession. To Whiff, to Shaw, good effort! Oh, it just scraped past that far post from Gary Shaw. The offside game didn't work there. Fenwick came racing out looking for a flag, and Wick stayed back. An interchange between Shaw and With, and a lovely shot, which on another day might well have gone in. Waddock. McMahon and Kerbishley trying to get things going in midfield for Aston Villa. DC lending a hand from left back. Rangers diving in with the tackle. Still DC and Shaw. And DC again. Now McMahon. And Shaw is through. Good turn. Was he fouled? Penalty. Terry Fenwick on Gary Shaw. And the protest by Terry Fenwick is to no avail. It's a penalty to Aston Villa. Good build-up again by Villa, and when Shaw got in there, he tried to turn inside Fenwick, who blocked him. Penalty given, from my angle, a good decision. Alan Evans to take the kick, the Villa captain. and scores. 1-1. Evans the scorer, but Gary Shaw on his return to the Aston Villa League side has an impact just when it was required. It's 20 minutes from the end that Aston Villa draw level. And Alan Evans, actually, that was his 4th successful penalty of the season, and his 8th goal overall. He's Villa's 2nd highest scorer, would you believe, from centre-back. And he's taken over the penalty job, Alan Evans, largely because Gordon Cowans has been out of action for so long, the original penalty taker. The attendance this afternoon at Villa Park, just under 20,000, but the loyalists at the Holt end there, hoping to see their team recover from what was, after all, a fairly indifferent Christmas. Villa were beaten at Watford and drew here against Spurs. Now they're level again against Queen's Park Rangers. With Mortimer, DC, and McMahon, and he's put that one in beautifully. That's a brilliant goal by Steve McMahon. Oh, that's match-winning stuff. And applause ringing round Villa Park when they know a good goal when they see one. Steve McMahon, for a minute he looked up, thought about passing to his right, but he chipped a beautiful goal past Peter Hucker 10 minutes from the end. And Aston Villa have come from 1 down to lead 2-1. It's got the Holt end singing, and why not? A mistake initially in defence. Neil now losing his head. He's already been booked. He's had a go at Walters. He's kicked the ball away. He's being warned by the linesman. The referee here has got to decide whether to leave Warren Neil on the field. Walters was the player he tangled with. The linesman's given his verdict to the referee, who has to decide, does he send Neil off? Only a few minutes left. A lecture. Are we going to play the game the right way or not? We are. Good decision by the referee. Sensible stuff from Alan Banks. Walters with. McMahon's goal has lit up the afternoon. Beautifully taken. Ormsby's acrobatic clearance. A rousing second half here brought Aston Villa their first win of the holiday period, and Steve McMahon said farewell to 1983 with a memorable winning goal. Jeremy Charles had put Queen's Park Rangers ahead after 54 minutes, but Aston Villa clawed their way back into the match. Alan Evans equalising from the penalty spot, applauds the fans, and in the end, Villa were good value for the 3 points.
Well, it could equally be said that Queen's Park Rangers were unlucky to come away with nothing, although I've no complaints about the penalty decision that brought Villa back into the game. What took my eye was the determination of Eamon DC, number 3 there, winning the ball back for Villa with a courageous and correct tackle. But more than that, unlike so many players these days, he declined several legitimate opportunities to fall and claim a foul, and battled on persistently to keep Rangers defenders under pressure. Shaw loses control of his layoff, but DC's awareness enables him to pounce first and keep the move going. It's McMahon who carries on the good work with a precisely weighted through ball to Shaw, and the slow motion finally enables us to see the correctness of referee Alan Banks' penalty award. Some might have hidden behind obstruction, but in my view, they'd have been wrong. Well, on now to our second match between teams with contrasting fortunes. Everton, not enjoying the second half of the year at all, and Coventry City, whose performances have reflected the broad smile mostly to be seen on the face of their manager, Bobby Gould. But his opposite number reflects the other side of the managerial coin. Your commentator, Alan Parry.
Howard Kendall is one man who will be glad to see the end of 1983. Everton's indifferent form recently has placed him under great pressure, but it's only fair to point out that last season under Kendall, Everton finished 7th, only just missing a place in Europe. At present, though, they're 7th from bottom, struggling to score goals and badly hit by injuries. Today, though, 3 experienced players return to the side: John Bailey, Adrian Heath and Andy King. Injuries have also affected today's Coventry lineup. Strikers Terry Gibson and Dave Bamber are both out and were badly missed at Nottingham Forest on Wednesday, when Coventry were beaten for the first time in 10 games. Steve Hunt returns following a 2-match suspension. So it's Everton in the dark blue shirts who kick off, attacking from left to right. And their problem this season, all too obvious. They've scored only 11 league goals, the poorest record in all 4 divisions. This is King. Mampfield in, on by Heath. And Heath chasing a through ball that looked a lost cause. Allardyce was calm. King in. And Everton battling to win possession with Bailey. Sheedy. Gray's touch, a nice one to Reed. This is Irving. Reed let it go to... Oh, well, that was handball, surely. And the referee let play go on, and the Coventry defenders furious. Because as the ball was driven in from the right, it seemed that Andy King used his hands to control it. The referee waved play on, and Everton get a corner. Gray coming in late, and the goalkeeper in trouble. Heath with the shot. Irvin. And that corner aided and abetted by the wind, causing Abramovich all kinds of problems. Foul throw. Not a bad ball by Allardyce, and straight through is Platt now, and should have scored. Everton's defence caught completely flat-footed by that long ball from the back by Allardyce. Platt now onto it quickly, and Southall did well coming off his line so quickly, but really Platt now should have done better than lift his shot over. Irvin. Here's his tackle. Difficult throw for Coventry. Peake's header. Oh, Hunt hesitated, and it was almost fatal. Here's Bailey for Everton. King. And the shot by Sheedy. Tremendous effort, but always just a shade too high. And again, the Coventry defence taking an age to try and clear the ball. In the end, it bobbled clear to Sheedy, and his shot was hit strong, but not on target. King. And again, does well. Now, Irvin on the right. Stevens in support. And players in the middle for him. It looks promising for Everton. And the shot by King looked a little awkward and was deflected away for a corner. Everton's best move, with Irvin feeding Stevens down the right. His cross met awkwardly by King, and a corner the outcome. Irvin. Gray climbing well. It was enough to put the goalkeeper off. Withy. And we're into the time added on by referee Hackett in this first half. The end of a very disappointing first half. The swirling wind had something to do with the football, but it's not a total excuse. As far as Coventry are concerned, they survived Everton pressure. As far as Everton are concerned, they could have lost a goal despite all the possession they had, and they've got some problems to sort out if they're to win this one. Everton 0, Coventry City 0. And the Welsh international team manager Mike England here to see on the Everton side Neville Southall and Kevin Ratcliffe, both of whom have been fairly untroubled so far. So Coventry will be fairly satisfied with their work so far on a ground where they haven't done very well. They lost here 2-1 in the Milk Cup earlier this season, a last-minute goal, and they've lost their last 3 league visits here. And to think that just 5 years ago, Everton's average attendance here was around 40,000. That's how the crowds have dwindled. And Bobby Gould, I'm sure, would be happy to leave here with a point after that 3-0 defeat at Nottingham Forest, but certainly won't be happy with the entertainment the game has provided. Pat now, he's through here, and so is Daly, who's onside. And a rare opportunity in this game goes missing. Platt now battling well, pushed the ball through. Daly was onside, but hit his shot wide. And Coventry have missed the best 2 chances of the game. Irvin. Here's Stevens. Field for Everton. Finding Gray. He's battled away admirably, I must say. This is Ratcliffe. And Stevens on the right. Reed. Sheedy. The 1-2, and Sheedy still going. And what a good save by Abramovich. Everton's best moment without doubt, and they're still in possession. Given away by King, won back by Bailey for a moment. And Roberts clears upfield. But certainly, that was a fine move by Everton. A lovely 1-2. Sheedy persistent, kept going, and it was only a fine save by Abramovich that stopped him from scoring. There's Daly for Coventry, who seem to be committing more men forward in these closing stages of the game. Here's one of them, Hunt. They've got 3 in the box now. Oh, and they got in each other's way. Well, that really is remarkable, because it's one of the few times Coventry have had so many players in the box, and it proved to be their undoing. The cross from the right by Hunt. Bennett and Withy got in each other's way, and another chance went begging. Richardson's flick on, Allardyce away. Bailey clear, and Sheedy picks it up. This is Stevens. And finds Reed. He stumbled on the edge of the box. Irvine. Good looking cross for Gray, who felt he was being held back by Roberts. But Mr. Hacker did not agree. Roberts. Now by Manfield. Now Bailey. Good ball for Sheedy. Richardson. Finding Irvine. Well, his crossing really has been disappointing today, Alan Irvine. And a little earlier, as Peter Reid went strongly through and stumbled on the edge of the box, Everton's hopes must have been high, but again they came to nothing. Stevens. Pierce intercepts. Here's Reid. King. Peak turns it out for an Everton throw, which could launch their final attack. Very little time remaining now. Mr. Hackett has already looked at his watch. Irvine for Everton. An angry reaction from the 13,500 faithful Everton fans. Coventry manager Bobby Gould will be pleased that they took a point from this. But let's not pretend that this was a very, very disappointing game, notwithstanding the difficult conditions. And Everton have got difficult times ahead. Everton 0, Coventry City 0, and sad to see a team like Everton struggling in this manner and receiving this kind of treatment from their own supporters.
Well, a point each might be said to be welcome to both sides in their different situations, but with an unkind wind sapping away what little confidence Everton started with, it wasn't much fun for their supporters. But Coventry could perhaps tell them that only a total and unified effort from the board, the manager, the players and the supporters will bring back the sunshine. Bob.
Well, there may have been many changes in football in 1983, but one thing remains constant: Liverpool's unquenchable thirst for success. The champions lead Division 1 by 3 points from Manchester United after both clubs won 1-0 today. It sets up a potentially explosive clash between the two at Anfield on Monday. West Ham go third following their 4-1 win over Tottenham, and Southampton, despite dropping one place, sustain their challenge. Ian Rush, who else, scored his 22nd goal of the season to give Liverpool victory at Nottingham Forest, Forest's first home defeat in 11 games. Arthur Graham got United's winner against Stoke. Young Tony Cottee set West Ham on their way against Spurs, with old-timer Trevor Brooking completing their win. Steve Moran scored both goals as Southampton came back from 2 down at Arsenal, for whom Charlie Nicholas scored again, another penalty, his 4th goal in 3 games. At the bottom, Wolves got their 2nd home win of the week and the season, and are now only 2 points behind managerless Stoke. Notts County and Birmingham, like Stoke, lost 1-0 away, but Leicester picked up a point, and Watford beat Birmingham to edge further away from trouble. David Speedy scored the goal that took Chelsea to the top of the 2nd Division for the first time this season, and that spared Kerry Dixon's blushes as Chelsea's top scorer missed yet again from the penalty spot. Remember, he failed with 2 against Portsmouth on Tuesday. Chelsea lead on goal difference only from Sheffield Wednesday and have played 2 games more. Both Wednesday and third-placed Manchester City were denied victory today by goals scored in the last minute. Wednesday drew 1-1 at Carlisle and City by the same score at Barnsley. Newcastle closed the gap with a 2-1 win at Oldham, Kevin Keegan scoring both to take his tally for the season to 16. The top 3 clubs in Division 3 all won, so Oxford stayed 2 points clear following a 5-2 home win over Orient. Third place Sheffield United also scored 5 against Bolton, with Colin Morris getting a hat-trick. And Wimbledon moved from 7th to 4th after winning 1-0 at Gillingham, Alan Cork getting his 20th goal of the season. On to the 4th Division, where York, 3-1 winners at Bury, now go 6 points clear. Doncaster move into 2nd place and Bristol City go 3rd above Blackpool, who lost 1-0 at Halifax. No doubt about the team who must feel least like celebrating Hogmanay, Hereford United, without a win in the last 10 games but leading 1-0 this afternoon against Colchester when their floodlights packed up after 68 minutes and the match was abandoned. No luck for you fortune hunters tonight on the pools either. With 12 score draws, the dividend forecast is low and no claims are needed. Here are the numbers: 1, 5, 12, 14, 16, 40, 41, 43, 46, 49, 51 and 54.
Well, that's almost it for tonight. It's knees up time for us too now, but not before I pointed out that on Saturday next at around 11:35, a bonus for you. Highlights of one of the day's third round FA Cup ties. But make a special note that Friday evening at 7:05, for the first time on British television, you'll be able to see a third round cup tie live. It's Liverpool versus Newcastle United, and what magic that conjures up. The country's top team against legendary cup fighters of yesteryear, currently in top form and with very positive ambitions for the future. And it's a return to Anfield for 2 of its favourite sons, Terry McDermott and Kevin Keegan. So in wishing you all a very happy new year, I can couple it with the thought that Terry and Kevin and all those involved in that cup tie on Friday will launch off 1984 in sensational and inspirational fashion. And finally, from all of us here, a happy new year. See you next Friday, 7:05. Good night.
McDermott. He's got Keegan in the box. This is Keegan. Oh, is this it? What a magnificent goal! That's what the Geordie fans wanted. The inspiration from McDermott and the finish of Keegan.
And Ryan got the ball in the flick on was by Waddle, and there it is! And of course, it's Kevin Keegan. Who else?
Mick Martin. Keegan. What a marvellous goal.
McDermott with the kick. And Keegan again!